EJ streaming late at night, building up with all his might. He's on under desert light, Bakalaka Dagestan in sight. Sand beneath construction signs, workers forging oil refines. Sweat and gives a perfect rhyme. It's his world, he's on a climb. Oil rules the land he stands, mogul now with steady hands. From the sand his fame expands, EJ's dreaming foreign sands. Rise in perfect sync, pipelines flow, no time to blink. Resources here, they interlink. Bakalaka Daxon's on the brink. Late night streaming on his screen, his vision clear, his thoughts pristine. Oil-rich world in constant sheen, Bakalaka Dagestan's the scene. He stands, mogul now with steady hands. From the sand his fame expands, EJ's dreaming foreign sands.
All right. Let's see. All right, I think I got all the links here. Rut row. Wait, what are we rut rowing? You have 3 more. Oh. All right. All right. Oh man, I wolfed that food way too fast. I'm gonna blow chunks. Oh god. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We're all right. That last link, I already have the Rocket Lab one. I got that. Maybe you should eat like a normal person. Maybe you should shut the hell up. Do that. You ever think about doing that? Nope, probably not. Okay. Let me move that over there. Move that to the end. I'm just putting all these links together here. Here's one more for you, just 1 minute old. Okay. Put that up at the front. I already have Adrian's. Yeah, okay. We have that. Let me just tee up a couple more things here to give, in case anybody missed this over the weekend. Just need a couple more. There's that. Anyway, how's you guys' Mondays going? Is you guys' Mondays going good? I tell you what, this Mondays is going real good there, boss. I'm trying to get up all the footage from all the stuff that happened over the weekend, because there's a good amount of stuff. Some good, mostly good. Some not so good. You know.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Oh! Nova Raptor gifted 12 months of Tier 1 to Erudite. 12 months? What the heck? What the Sigma? It's so screwed up. Thank you, Nova. I appreciate it. What the skirt? Skirt, skibbity bop, bop, bibbity bop, oop, skibbity bop. Actually, that one would be better. Yeah, I'm just getting a timeline of events here. Yeah, there we go. That's the one we want. All right, so welcome to Space News. We are here right at half past the hour. We can't see you, may or may not be on purpose, just an FYI. It was on purpose. It was on purpose. Thank you for letting me know. So, all right. We'll start with what happened over the weekend, and we'll go from there. Oh, I forgot one more link. One more link. Skip, segment, skibbity bop, skibbity bop, beep, bobbity. Don't. Just ignore this part. Just pretend there's background music playing. Welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring me to your knees? Okay. All right. Here. We start here. So, this was on Saturday. Check this out. Crew 9 launch. Crew 9 launched from, Crew 9 launched to the space station. Now, interesting, there was a first here. That right there is the first human-rated launch ever from Complex 40. If you missed the coverage over the weekend, well, that kind of stinks, but it was awesome. It was really cool. This Crew 9 Dragon launched with 2 people. It was the second Dragon mission to fly with 2 people on board, the first one being the DM2 mission. This one launched with Commander Nick Hague and pilot Alexei Gorbanov. It was Nick Hague's 1.5 flight to the space station. He's up there right now, and Alexei's 2.5 flight. I say that because Nick Hague's first flight was on a Soyuz that exploded on the way up. His second one was on a Soyuz 5 months later, and this is his 3rd flight. So it's kind of 2.5. But yeah, they did get up to the space station, and it was an awesome launch. He also said that when they got on orbit, he said, as his kids would say, it was a very Sigma launch. I'm not kidding. That's what he said. So shortly after that, this happened. First stage came back down and completed its return to launch site. Oh, hello. He actually said that, yes. he did, Shaw. MS-10 was scary to watch live. Yep. It was a little hairy, but yep. Booster came down, everything was good. Let's see. So I knew I forgot one. Hold on. Hold up. Skibbity up, bibbity up, bibbity. This was a single engine entry burn, Fabricator, from what single engine entry burn, yes. And a 131 landing. All right, here you go.
They were looking up into Dragon's trunk, looking at the heat shield on the bottom of Dragon that Crew 9 will use when it returns home early next year.
So this was this weekend here. There is separation.
Dragon SpaceX, Dragon separation confirmed.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Unit B.
There
be dragons.
And Freedom copies, good separation.
There you heard from Mission Control. Both
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Countdown 1. Nick, Alex, on behalf of the entire team, we thank you for flying with Falcon 9 today and wish you a great mission.
And Freedom, this is Launch Director on Countdown. On behalf of the entire SpaceX launch and recovery team, I'd like to extend our congratulations to the entire Crew 9 team. Xena, Stephanie, Nick, Alex, Butch, and Sunny. It's an honor to be a part of this mission with all of you. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Falcon 9 Crew 9 combo. The best bundle in the league, baby. Godspeed, Crew 9.
Couldn't say it any better. Thank you, guys. You know, we had the opportunity to meet so many people that were involved with the Falcon 9, and along the way was a sweet ride. I'm pretty sure my youngest son would say it was Sigma. Alex has got a few words to add as well.
No, Nick, why? 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 All right, okay. Anyway, Dragon, then Sunday, Dragon
That if
approached the station here. Here's a picture of it. Oh my God, that was worse. That was worse the second time around. It's pretty awesome. And Dragon did approach and dock to the space station.
1 meter.
Here we go. He does have that grind set, man. I can't do it. I can't do it, Crustacean. I can't do it, man. I'm sorry. I'm too old. I'm too old. Ah. Cha-ching.
Freedom SpaceX on the big loop, self-capture confirmed.
Yeah, baby.
Freedom copies, good stuff.
So, it's a good doc, prompting this picture from Don Pettit. Here be Dragons. Crew 9, Dragon Spaceship Freedom arrived at the space station.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
That launch was really skibbity. Sigma even. We really paid the Phantom tax with this one. I'm glad I drank my Grimace shake before the launch. Maybe Baby Gronk can come up on our next flight. I wonder if we can see Ohio from here.
Okay. All right. Yep. Nope. I'm leaving. All right. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow for another exciting episode of Eric Johnson Space Administration streams. All right. Yep. Why are you doing this? All right. You know, like here's the thing. At least that generation can admit that their new slang words are terrible. And they themselves call it brain rot. because here, I'm going to necro one from my time, because sometimes they don't think it be like it is, but it do be like it is. Okay, that's one from my time when I was in high school. Okay. Okay. All right. Anyway, so Don Pettit took this picture. Here be Dragons. Crew 9 Dragon Spaceship Freedom arrived at the space station last night. The approach and docking sequence naturally draws our crew to a window. In this case, about 5 of us were crowded in Dragon Crew 8 to watch Crew 9 dock, with everybody bouncing around for a peek in the window. This photo was a quick handheld snap, complete with the window reflections and streaky stars. This dragon snorts fire. Snort fire? Yeah. There's fire. Whatever you do, just wash your hands. Spaceflight Now reached out to NASA LSP about the Falcon 9 upper stage issue. Okay. You know what's really annoying? For whatever reason, Windows decided on my other computer that my mouse cursor just wouldn't show up over Chrome. All right. This is great. No, this is really good. Anybody got a fix for this one? Because, you know, that's really good. See my mouse cursor? No, but it's, oh, that's sure that's fine. Yep. No, that's good. Yep. Yep, just I'll be right back. How does that even happen? How does that even happen? I feel naked without chat. I don't like it. It's weird. Okay, it's working now. Jeez, that got a little bit dicey there to click on links and stuff. Just let me make sure everything is working. The brain rot has spread to Windows. All right. Anyway, so good docking. And crew was up there. Pretty awesome. Had the whole crew up there. We have crew 8, crew 9, MS and MS-26 up there, putting the count on the space station, albeit only for a week, at 11. So that's pretty cool. Now, once again, this mission launched with only 2 people. The two dudes in the blue. That's Alexander Gorbanov on the right, Nick Hague on the left. That's the guy that said Sigma, just in case you were wondering. Now, you have crew 8 there. That's Jeanette Epps, Alexander Grabenkin, Michael Barrett, and Matthew Dominic. And then up here, you have the 3 crew from Soyuz, MS-26. That's Alexei Ovchinin, Don Pettit from NASA, and Ivan Wagner. And then you have Starliner CFT-1. You know, Butch and Sonny right there, who are now joining these 2, and they will do a long duration stay on the station, and they will come back down when Nick and Alex are ready to go down. Matthew's plotting in this picture. He's definitely got the evil layer thing going on there. They're so stranded. Yeah, I know. So overall, great mission. It was awesome watching the docking, awesome watching the launch. Basically streamed every day now for a week straight. That's pretty cool. Haven't done that in a little while, but that's what's needed. Now, That wasn't without some bad news. You want the send view. Yeah, I had the send view up the whole time, but yeah, send this company had a 4K camera outside the ISS there, which is pretty awesome. It was dark when Dragon docked, so we didn't get to see this in 4K, but that's pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool right there. Yeah, that I had that stream up the whole time, but yeah, it was dark when they went to dock. Now, it wasn't without some not uncool stuff here. So this is coming right from SpaceX. After the successful launch of Crew 9, Falcon 9 second stage was disposed of in the ocean as planned, but experienced an off-nominal deorbit burn. As a result, the second stage safely landed in the ocean, but outside of the targeted area. We will resume launching after we better understand the root cause. So Falcon 9's grounded right now. That's the bad news. What are those black panels on the ISS next to the solar arrays? Solar arrays. What are those? Newer solar arrays, if you really want to know, but they are solar arrays. Fun fact, those are the rollout solar arrays, believe it or not, that were delivered by Dragon on resupply missions in the trunk. Those rollout solar arrays, despite being like a quarter the size of the big solar arrays, generate like double the power because solar technology has gotten a little better since this was made. This is a 1980s design, if anybody wants to know. So, yeah, that's what that is. Good question. So, yeah, Falcon 9 is grounded. They had a second stage restart off nominal deorbit burn, which is not good. That's 3 anomalies in the past 2 months. Yeah, not great. Not even SpaceX knows the route, and frankly, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. There's no footage of it. So that could be a problem because, you know, that whole Europa Clipper thing that's happening soon, which is very, very dependent on a launch window. You know, Europa needs to be in the right place. That's kind of important. Give me 1 second, texting my wife. So, surprise, surprise. Guess who came a knocking? Surprise, surprise. Hey, it's me, your friend, the FAA. Hello. So my buddy Adrian over at NSF reached out to the FAA and said that the Federal Aviation got a quote say the Federal Aviation Administration is aware an anomaly occurred during the SpaceX NASA Crew 9 mission that launched from Cape Canaveral in Florida on the 28th. The incident involved the Falcon 9 second stage landing outside of the designated hazard area. No public injuries or public property damage have been reported, but the FAA is requiring an investigation. Oh, hello. It's me, your friend, FAA. Hey, I can't, dude, in my mind, I picture the FAA like knocking on SpaceX's door and they're like, hey, you guys remember how you don't like paperwork? You guys remember that? You remember how you don't like paperwork? Well, guess what? You're gonna have to get a lot of that now. Yeah, I know. You just love it. You know? Oh, jeez. Oh no. So yeah, I mean, SpaceX did acknowledge it right off the bat. So I don't know. This, I don't think that this necessarily represents, once again, it's not a design flaw or something, but this screams quality control at this point, or changes to the second stage that have gone untested, which was the result of the last second stage anomaly. So, yeah, that's not great, but another bump in the road. Nobody said this was going to be easy. Like I said, and I have been saying for a long time, we are in uncharted territory here. I've always talked in the past that, you know, the Apollo program wishes they had Falcon 9. You wish you had it. We like to kind of use the 1960s as kind of a grade. Everybody does this, you know, use that as like a grade, like, okay, are we at the Apollo levels? Yeah, we're not at an Apollo level yet. We're not at Apollo level yet. We're close, getting there. But once again, there's nothing like Falcon 9 has existed yet. Like, there's really nothing. The closest thing would be the Department of Defense block buying ICBMs. But they obviously, for a very, very good reason, didn't have high flight cadence. That's probably for the better there. But yeah, we're in uncharted territory here. Like, the SpaceX has got to be cranking out a second stage almost every day. Has to be cranking out a second stage every day. That's to support this flight rate, or actually. Why'd you make me yawn again? Damn it! It's got to be once every couple of days at the very least. Is the second stage firing not controlled by computers? Everything is controlled by computers. So, this much paperwork. Yeah. Nice picture. High flight cadence on ICBM is probably something you don't want. So, we're in uncharted territory here. So, what could be the cause of this? I don't know. I'm thinking, my opinion here, and like I said, we're going to have to wait and see the results from the investigation, which is probably going to take some time. Now, but here's the thing, dudes. Here's EJ's opinion. SpaceX is trying to do something that is extraordinarily hard here. What SpaceX is trying to do is prevent a stopgap in their capabilities. What is a stopgap? Well, let me give you an example. Well, I'll tell you what it is first. It'd probably be better. A stopgap is basically when it happens in spaceflight or any other engineering where you stop using one thing and you start using another thing. Could be, if you're a construction company, it could be a different crane or a bigger dump truck, if we're going to talk in like workers things. In spaceflight, it's going from one architecture to another. Mercury to Gemini, Gemini to Apollo, Apollo to the space shuttle to, space shuttle to commercial crew, if you really want to be technical. So SpaceX is trying to avoid a stopgap. They want to keep operating the Falcon 9 program, but also pursue Starship at the same time. Now, the reason why I brought up history and why we're unprecedented here. No one's ever done this is because no one's been able to do exactly what exactly what I just said. Like, no one's been able to bridge that stopgap. That's never happened before. So even the Apollo program with the Apollo program with a blank check from Uncle Sam for the most part, Gemini 12 and Apollo 7, which was the first crewed Apollo mission, were still 2 years apart, guys. Not a lot of people know that. Because even NASA, like full 1960s aerospace cooking NASA, it still had a stopgap between the Gemini and the Apollo programs. Why? Because they basically changed everything. Well, what component on Starship has anything in common with Falcon 9? See what I'm talking about? SpaceX is trying to basically go from their Gemini-esque rocket, very loose quotations there because to compare Falcon 9 to Titan 2 is a little weird, but you get the idea. In this analogy, it makes sense, right? To Starship to Saturn V, right? Like that's to their Apollo program, right? You know, Starship is what SpaceX is going to use to go beyond low Earth orbit for the most part. Not to say that they couldn't with Falcon. I mean, I think you could make a good argument. You could make a good argument that Falcon could be perfectly fine with doing something like that, but that's another story. But right now, SpaceX is trying to operate 2 space programs, essentially. A heavy research and development space program, developing the most complicated vehicle ever designed. The most complicated spacecraft ever designed. Most complicated first stage, most complicated GSE. And also maintain high cadence with Falcon 9s. I'm not going to say that SpaceX is spread thin, but what I will say, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but we have seen multiple weird anomalies with Falcon 9 in the past 2 months here, pretty much all summer. There'd been 3 failures of Falcon 9. The last time SpaceX had this many failures in this short a span of time, Falcon 1 was flying. So keep that in mind. I don't know if they're spread thin. I don't think they are, but it's important to take into account that what they are trying to do is insanely difficult. On top of the ridiculousness of the Starship program, right? On top of how crazy that actually is, they're trying to achieve sub-2-day launch cadence with their kind of grandfathered in vehicle at this point. It sounds so weird saying that about Falcon 9. I watched the first one fly. That was weird. I didn't like that. Versus, you know, moving to make the next big thing, right? And we've seen them balance these 2 things back and forth pretty dang well up until now, or at least seemingly. I don't know. That my guess is. Actually, I don't really say I don't really want to guess. Like, could be stretched too thin, could be a QA problem, could be, you know, there's a bunch of different things. However, I don't think it can be understated how difficult what they're doing actually is, and because no one's ever done that. No one's ever done that. Not even the Apollo program did this. They stopped flying Gemini and then retooled everything for Apollo, right? And still, that was a 2-year stopgap between Gemini 12 and Apollo 7. And if you look at every other stopgap, it's just gotten progressively worse and worse from there. The last Apollo mission technically was the Apollo-Soyuz test project in 1975. And then the first shuttle mission was 1981. So 6-year stopgap. If you look at the shuttle to commercial crew, it's even worse. Almost a decade, right? So overcoming stopgaps in capability because you're scaling or doing whatever we called after canceling Constellation in the space shuttle, whatever that was. I wouldn't call that scaling, but it's an insanely difficult thing to do. And up until now, they've been making it look pretty easy. But I think it does shine a light that even a company with the chops that SpaceX has, still going to have some bumps in the road from time to time. My friend designs and manufactures a surgically implemented medical device. Even that isn't perfect. Human med. Yeah, it happens, Bob. Like, I don't think this is a mark against SpaceX. It's just, I don't know if they're spread too thin. That would be my kind of gut feeling, but I don't know. You know, it's, but I think it's important to consider whether you say that they suck, the Falcon 9 team sucks, or, you know, oh, they need to get Starship flying, the FAA, blah, 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 whatever you say. Like, what they're trying to do and what they've genuinely done is very, very impressive. No one's ever made it. No one's ever had a continuous overlap with capabilities like that. No one's ever done this. And we know Falcon 9 is going to fly at the very least until 2028 because of Department of Defense missions. We know it's going to fly until then, you know? So that means SpaceX is going to keep up this sub-2-day launch cadence for another 4 years at the very least, which is, once again, that's actually crazy. And then, you know, they're going to operate Starship on the same cadence per their own, like, stakeholder expectations. So I don't think it's that ridiculous to say what they're doing is kind of nuts, and I'm frankly amazed that nothing else has gone wrong. It's very impressive. So remember, there's always going to get bumps in the road. You know, I said once again, we're comparing it to Apollo, right? I think we're past that. Yeah, SpaceX hasn't sent somebody to the moon. That will happen sooner rather than later. But yeah, Atlas to Vulcan, Andrew, that's a good, yeah, ULA's been able to do it. I was going to, you kind of screwed me on that one because that's what I had teed up next. I was going to segue into that, Andrew, but you know, why don't you just ruin it for me, man? Just screw up my entire pacing. Damn, man, no. No, I was just messing around. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. Ask ULA. But even ULA, you know, moving from Atlas 5 to Vulcan, right? Look at how many times they've launched over the past 5 years. It shows that they're retooling. SpaceX, you could call what they're doing retooling, but they've also increased their cadence during this stopgap time, which is, once again, it's frankly amazing, right? Just steal my damn thunder. Ariane Space have a 7-year overlap between Ariane 4 and Ariane 5. Yeah, but Ariane Space sucks. You forgot about that part. To even imply that they're on any semblance of the same level as SpaceX is quite funny to me, actually. It's quite funny. So that's a good joke, man. It's a good joke. Don't insult my tax money. I will insult your tax money, and I will keep insulting your tax money. No, yeah, no, it's been done, but not at this cadence. You know, going from Ariane 4 to Ariane 5 is not going from Falcon 9 to Starship or Gemini to Apollo. It's not even close. Anyway, also, don't get me wrong. I like giving the Europeans a lot of crap. So if you're European watching this, I think Ariane 6 is a pretty good architecture. I just think it's something that should have rolled out like 10 years ago, maybe. Would have been really good like 10 years ago. Like now it's kind of all right. It's not bad. I don't mind Ariane 6. I think its integrated architecture with Vega C is actually pretty damn well thought out. It just, the thing is that would have been really good about 10 years ago in the market conditions. It would have been excellent. But just my 2 cents. I don't know. Anyway, so speaking of overcoming stopgaps, we have some updates from ULA as well. Tori Bruno said they're mounting a new swing arm atop the umbilical tower at Slick 3. This is out at Vandenberg. The upper swing arm will service the hydrogen vent for Centaur 5, while the lower swing arm will house engine chill down and gas lines, hazardous gases, in addition to delivering hydrogen and liquid oxygen to the Centaur. So Slick 3 is being retooled for a Vulcan pad right now out at Vandenberg, which is pretty cool. You can see it. The really nice new shiny stuff is being attached to not nice and new shiny stuff. Ariane 5 Flight 1. There's bumps in the road. Like, I don't mean to, I kind of dumped on Alien Space a little bit too hard there, but yeah, no, you do what you got to do. Anyway, ULA has been able to retool, and speaking of that, check this out. They're retooling Slick 3 out of Vandenberg, but also ULA has tweeted that they've rolled out with the Vulcan Certification 2 mission right here. Good day. Morning, Redonganan. How are you? Check that out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. And that's a bus. Prompting some pretty awesome pictures like this. This is a pretty good one. I agreed about the speed of Ariane 4-5 and Falcon 9 Starship. Yeah, cool. Wait. Nice. So, Cert 2, Vulcan's next flight. Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Sorry. Sorry. Hermit? No. I'm just beatboxing to the rocket rolling. Anyway. So yeah, that's pretty good. ULA is, getting ready to move this sucker out, and we'll be launching it sometime soon. This mission was supposed to fly with Dream Chaser on it, but I don't think Dream Chaser was ready in time. Sir, would you let go of the rollout system controls? No. Give me 1 second. Anyway, so I believe they have a mass simulator up there. So yeah, pretty good stuff. ULA is tooling up. Cert 2 is going to certify Vulcan for national security missions. So pretty good. Now, we did cover this a little while back. Actually, you know what? I was gonna I'll still mention it, but we did kind of cover this already. But a very interesting turn of events in NASA's lunar rover program. Leidos replaces Lockheed Martin on the Artemis rover team. So Leidos pulled out of their rover bid for Lockheed Martin pulled out of their rover bid for NASA, and Leidos replaced them, which is very interesting. We could kind of go over a little bit more of the details maybe in a little bit, but I wanted to get through some other things. And then some people asked me questions about international cooperation over the weekend during Crew 9, and I kind of wanted to go over some stuff. But CFT2 certification flight 2 is targeting October 4th, net October 4th. Cool. All right. So speaking of Dream Chaser and Vulcan, we do have an update here. So check this out. So this is coming from Sierra Space. Our team successfully completed the ISS joint test of our passive common berthing mechanism, PCBM. This test verified that the PCBM meets NASA standards. It included leak tests and alignment checks, ensuring the berthing interface safely between Dream Chaser and the ISS. So that is the common berthing mechanism, the passive common berthing mechanism. It's very simple, isn't it? That's because it is. Because of the way it is. And that's on the back of Shooting Star, which, once again, Shooting Star and Dream Chaser, which Dream Chaser's sitting over there. This cone module and the Dream Chaser there were we're supposed to fly on Cert 2, but you can clearly see that they're not ready yet. So, yeah, it's very... I want to get through the rest of the space news, and then we can talk about that. Yeah, it's very interesting, Laz. What's going on there? But we'll get through a little bit more news here. So check this out. This is coming from Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab says, another day, another large carbon composite structure complete for Neutron. From here, this Stage 1 LOX tank common dome will be fitted with internal propellant management devices ahead of assembly of the first stage tank. There we go. I always say, look for the hardware. Well, that seems to be that. Right there. That's pretty sweet. Ooh, that reminds me. So this is stuff, that's Neutron's fuel tanks and common domes, but Rocket Lab also posted this. This has got some sound to it, so... This is their Archimedes engine. Wow. Move, water droplet. Oh, thank you. Very nice. Where's this engine being tested at? That's Stennis. That's the A3 test stand at Stennis. Mississippi. Fire it into the sprinkler. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it's not good for it. Yeah, that's what I thought I was seeing from that. So green is okay at the beginning of a firing, but did you see how it kind of went green there during the firing? Yeah, that's not good. It seems like the Archimedes engine is working, but they don't have it completely dialed in yet. But still really good progress. That looks really nice. That's really good. But then again, they could be testing different things with the rocket engine from this footage. Because that footage... I was about to say, that footage looks good until there's some green. The green usually alludes to burning copper. And a lot of these engines use copper cooling channels because copper is a great conductor of heat. So, yeah, that's not ideal. But I think those lines were just the camera, guys. Those lines that are coming out there, that's the vibrations from the rocket engine screwing with the scan on the camera. It's artifacting it like crazy. Yeah, see, that looks pretty healthy. That the cone is not really super defined, but it does look okay. Is Archimedes full flow? It's an oxidizer-rich stage combustion cycle. So that probably explains the copper. They don't have it dialed in completely. Either that or they're torturing the heck out of this engine. It could be that too. Oxygen rich, you really, 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 really have to be careful. It's very easy for the motor to lean out and explode, which I don't know if it's induced, but it kind of looks like it almost did that here. Peter Beck on the topic. Oh, sweet. Peter Beck. Let's see, what is he saying? Some of it is T-tab purge starting fluid, and some of it is slight copper erosion due to a localized flow trip. SN3 has a tweak to solve this. Yep. Cool. Yeah, so it's not fully dialed in yet. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there. See how turbulent? See how the flash is? See the green right there? See that? That's not good. That's part of the engine. That's part of the engine ablating itself. That's not good. But they said they have a fix for it. Like I said, that stuff, there's only so many things you can figure out by just doing the math. Sometimes you got to put it on this test stand and send it, man. It's a thing. I don't think this is a bad, I know this is not a bad thing with the Archimedes engine. Propulsion development takes time and it's hard to get it right. But this looks pretty damn good for what it is. Sir Peter Beck, that's right. We'll talk about the rover story at the end, Aqualux, okay? I'm trying to make it so we don't just pick the topic we're going to talk a lot about, so I end up missing a bunch of things. I'm trying to get all the stuff that can be explained rather quickly done first. Trying a new thing here. So save that. Bookmark that comment. Post it again in like 20 minutes when we're talking about it. Okay, man? Yeah, see that? That's no good. But like Peter Beck, you know, once again, accountability. He basically said right off the bat, like, this is what's going on. That's that. We got to tweak it. It takes time to get this stuff right, guys. It's tough. It is a tough thing to get right. So yeah, at least they got something, you know. Also, that's the A3 test stand at Stennis. See the towers back there? Rocket Lab entered a lease with the Stennis Space Center to lease the A3 testing site. I'm pretty sure they're not using the actual test stand, but they might use it later. The A3 test stand is actually pretty damn cool. How mad do you guys want to get today? The A3 test stand is really cool because it's a high thrust vacuum test chamber that was designed to test upper stages for the Constellation program. Yeah, and if you're wondering, the Constellation program got canceled, and the contractor sued NASA to pay them out, so they finished the test stand as part of the suing. Yeah. The A3 test stand, despite Constellation being canceled in 2011, was completed in 2014 and declared operational for a program that didn't exist. I don't blame the contractor, let me put it that way. Anyway. So, Rocket Lab has built some facilities at the A3 test stand. I just really hope they put that thing to use. That thing's brand new. What the hell? Yeah. Yeah. Kind of over it, and kind of over those games. Kind of over those games. NASA kind of deserved it. You're damn right they did. You don't renege on a contract. That's lame. You signed it. You signed a deal. Signed written deal. You say you're going to do something, do it. You don't have your word. What the hell do you have? Nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Anyway, other things here. This one's coming from Harry Stranger. Check the Rocket Lab stock price. Huh. Stonks. Huh. Oh, Intuitive's down. No. Intuitive just got a $4 billion contract, man. Oh, they're up overall. Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. You got stock in Rocket Lab? I think it would be extremely hypocritical of me, Erudite, to have stocks in any aerospace company, at least, and if I did, I would disclose it to you guys. Because I report on the news, and I would consider that a conflict of interest. Like, if I invested in Rocket Lab and you just all of a sudden started hearing me say, Rocket Lab's the best, I think they're better than SpaceX. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I'll say there was a time where I was invested in Boeing. We cashed out during COVID. Actually, a little bit after COVID. Boeing's stock price went in the toilet during COVID, and Primo and I invested money into it, and then it rebounded after COVID, and we cashed out and made down payment on the house, baby. We cashed out some Ethereum for what it's worth. At the time. Got to put a down payment on the house. I wanted a shop, baby. You know? I remember that. We used to talk about aerospace stocks. Yeah. Buy the dip, baby. We bought the dip during COVID. Everything dipped during COVID. You know? The next recession, man. Think about that. Think about that. This isn't stock trading advice. I am not responsible if you lose money. But, like I said, the market expands and contracts. Part of what makes it rebound is people seeing an opportunity like that. That's how we got out of 2008. Not unscathed, but better. The market's elastic, guys. It'll spring. Goes too far in one direction, it'll spring right back. Goes too far in another direction, it'll spring right back. That's how it works, man. Diamond hands, baby. Good times. Yep. Yep. Stupid investor saw that Rocket Lab was in the early Mars sample return investigation dev grant from like 600K and thought that they will bring samples from Mars and put the stock up 30K. Finance bros, dude. Finance bros. What do you want? All right. Next news coming from Harry Stranger here. What is he up to? Environmental work for what is being referred to as Slick 20C North Pad is underway in Space, Florida. Is underway by Space Florida. The project aims to provide common use infrastructure and allow for the operation of small lift launch vehicles. What? What? Why? What do you remember of 08? How did it impact you? We just had to curtail spending a little bit, Forge. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I grew up pretty firm middle class. 2008 was not that bad for me or my family, to be honest. Yeah, wasn't the worst. Like, the other thing is that we didn't really see a real estate dip in Massachusetts in 2008. Not here. You know why? There's no room. There's no room. There's too many people. Even in 2008, there's too many people. Real estate did not dip in this state. It did not happen. You know why? Because there's no house. There's not enough houses. There's no room. So that kind of hedged our bets against the recession from what I can remember. But it wasn't to say that we didn't have our sacrifices, you know? Yeah, there's no room. So yeah, real estate never dipped here. Oops. It was horrible for mine. You lost 400K minimum. Ouch. I was just but a wee lad at the time, so I was 20, dude. I didn't really see what was going on. Anyway. Don't they have that parking lot for that? Yeah. Anyway, so Slick 20C. Interesting. So that's 34 right there. And that's 20. 20 is relativity, I think. You were 5. I'm 15 years older than you. No wonder you make the jokes that you make. They want to slot in a modular launch pad like what NASA wanted to do for 39A, share it between Boeing and ULA and SpaceX and Blue. Cope. Is that a pupper? Pupper? Titan? Come here, buddy. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Titan? Oh, look at this boy. You look a little tired. Oh, a little tired, bud. Come here. Come here so these fine chats can see you. How you doing?
See where all their subs are going. Which, by the way, guys, if EJ didn't tell you, I also...
Yeah, the camera's up there.
I know. Thank you for all of the subs this month. I really appreciate it, guys. Means the world to us.
Thank you.
You let him do what he loves to do.
I do what I want. Whatever.
Shut up, Prima, or whatever.
Don't do that again. Hey, Wisp, 63 months.
Go at throttle up.
What gifts does this pupper bring?
I really gotta find something for him to bring. Every time we come out here. Actually, Titan.
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 This is space. I'm in space.
Do you have any modular frames for us? What about iron plates?
Oh, thanks, Graham.
This is space. I'm in space.
How many was that?
10.
Okay. Well, Pa, why you gotta make me feel bad? Come here, buddy. Come here. I'll tug. You got any crystal oscillators? No? He's like, I don't know what that is. We're paying for Titan's food.
Actually, I just got a deal on Titan's food. I found it for $15 cheaper than Petco, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
Love you too, Graham.
Sorry, Brimo, we love you. Don't. You okay, pal?
I walked 2 miles today. I'm pretty tired.
Does seem a little tired. Usually a little more cranky than that, but.
When Chewy sponsorship? Oh god.
Oh God! See, she does it now too. Oh God! Good boy. Good boy. Titan. Up here. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice ponytail. Thanks. This is how I make my hair curly. This is how I dry it when it's wet, and then it gets curly overnight. So it's not just like I don't go out in public like this.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. How's it doing? He's like, I'm done with you. You don't have any more food.
Oh, you touched the bag. They didn't have the treats that he liked, but I got him other stuff.
All right, buddy. Okay, sit. No. Sit down. Sit. Paw. Up. Good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. He's a good boy with the good chewies. He's a good boy with the good chewies. He's a good boy.
Yeah, it is a Disney shirt. Alright.
Well, that's cool.
The turkeys are back there aerating our lawn again, so
Can we aerate them with a BB gun?
I don't know how well that would work. What were you? Is that your beef and broccoli, or?
Yeah, that's the beef and broccoli container. You want to take that in for me?
Yeah, I can.
I'll give you a cookie.
Oh, I got you peanut butter stuffed pretzel bites too.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Get an airsoft? We should get an airsoft. I wanted to go get a bolt action M40 airsoft, but she wouldn't let me.
I just feel like there's better things to spend our money on than an airsoft gun.
It's not just an airsoft gun, it is a turkey deterrent.
You're always in here when the turkeys are out there, so you're never going to have a chance to deter them.
You could deter them.
No.
John, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Joint accounts are icky. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hey, we're a team.
We are a team. That's right. But also, it's like $100. Like $100.
Can we talk about this later?
Can we talk about this later? That's a no. All right, cool. There is no me in team. Wait. You have a World War II Gatling gun in your grandparents' farm. There were Gatling gun? What is it, on a freaking horse buggy? I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, there's no airsoft in team either.
But there's a meat in team.
That's all about Titan.
As in turkey meat.
See, your $100 airsoft gun pays for his food.
Yeah, and it could pay for more food if we shot turkeys with it and then fed him to turkey.
Alright, you gotta go back to work.
I'd say have chat buy you one, but you never check your P.O. box. Bree, you want to go to the P.O. box for me?
No.
No?
It's probably closed right now.
Oh, fine.
You go tomorrow or something.
Go tomorrow or something. Thanksgiving's coming up.
You can't eat those.
You can't eat those, chat. What are you, stupid?
They're not Thanksgiving,
They're not turkeys.
Okay, you can, but it's not gonna be like a regular like a Thanksgiving turkey.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah, Thanksgiving turkeys are like bred to be fat and stupid. These ones are like wild and thin. What?
Nothing. You're not wrong. It's just fun. Everybody here looking nice and healthy and thin. Oh, sorry. Just remind you guys ever seen that? All right.
All I know is I offered to bring the turkey for Thanksgiving when we first moved here, and I was told that it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, who you calling a turkey? Get a wild turkey, you won't be sorry. Plus, you'll have some great feathers.
All of this because I wanted to let you know that they were aerating the lawn again.
Well, I will aerate them. Okay.
Are you gonna watch the Lions with me? What's your plan?
Oh,
You don't have to.
I don't want to. Let's be real. There is no hope for my team. No hope.
Primo's doing your hair and you didn't even compliment her? No, please don't. This is ridiculous. This is, I call this my unicorn horn. Like, this does not deserve.
I'm from Detroit. I live in Detroit. Go Lions.
Nice.
what
I'm
she's-
from Dearborn originally, Bob.
Bird. I don't wear this hat because I just like birds. Right.
The first time he came to Detroit, I took him to the Henry Ford Museum, and he was like a pig in shit.
Watch your language,
I know, but
lady.
you still live in Dearborn? Cool.
Feathers to make pillows. See, Clayton, we want to be hunter-gatherers, but she doesn't. We want to be part of the system. Didn't you meet Brimo at the Intrepid? Yeah, the first date when I went to Detroit to meet her and her folks. RJ, you know what we did? We went to the Henry Ford and then drove around Detroit. So Bob, we drove around Hamtramck, and we saw the Packard plant and the Gemmer plant that was there. That was our first date in Detroit. I thought it was fun.
I enjoyed it. I did think it was funny though because I'm like so used to seeing like these rundown buildings and they're just like background to me. Like why would anybody want to tour them? And then this nerd comes, he's like, I gotta go see the ruins of the Packard plant. And I'm like, why? But he gave me a new appreciation for it.
Because factories are cool. Factories are cool. She's a Detroit girl. It explains everything Kappa. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but you
and
probably.
goalie should have known that.
Yeah, how did you not know that?
Is EJ a nerd? Do dogs poop in the woods? Oh, you work for GM Bob. Cool.
Oh, nice. Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. I mean, not really. 'Cause, you know. But pretty cool. Right on, man.
Alright. Take me and my silly hair out of here. I totally forgot. Now this is on the internet forever, but...
That's why I'm very careful with my words. And you're cursing here with your potty mouth. Poop,
I'm
poop,
tired. I walked 2 miles today.
poopy, poop,
See how Titan is? That's how I feel.
poop mouth. Titan's passed out. He's done. He's done. Deadpool would be upset.
Oh, whatever. Okay, I love you.
All right, baby. I love you too.
Okay, doggy.
The Lions helmets look sick for tonight. So guys, I'm
They're
not saying I've been
black.
voluntold because I haven't been voluntold, but I would appreciate it if we did Space News and I watched the professional football contest with my wife tonight. I hate you, Ron Burgundy. I hate you. I love you too, baby. I'll see you. You hold 3 conversations simultaneously and read chat. I don't know how you do it. Practice. There's an old Coca-Cola bottling plant in Ocala that still runs. It was built in 1939. All right. Dude, a Gao 8 that fires table tennis balls. Yeah. That info is coming from the Assured Access to Space Industry Day 2024. You can download the presentation and scroll down to attachments and downloads. Okay, cool. I'll be honest with you, I don't really understand the reason for building more pads right now. Just use the old pads that are there. It's not like you have a shortage of them. Baka-laka-daka stands the plan. I have that stuck in my head. Industry Day briefing. All right, let's see what we got, Philium. Let's see what we got, Philium's lizard. Ah, yes. Do it. Okay. Could it be cheaper to start a clean slate? Maybe. Oh, wow. Neat. Let me introduce you to Satellite Blaze. Then Laser. And then Satellite Blazer. And then the Russian tracking satellite Katinka Ugabagabagabaganagovich. And then the satellite consigliere, Michel. So this is 45. Here we go. What's the word on the James Webb Telescope detecting something? Is there any truth to it? I'm sure it's detected something since it's been up there. Yeah. Pretty sure it detected something. What it is? I have no idea. I don't know, Alamander. I don't know if they make a crushed by 2 tons of irony Hallmark car. That's pretty good, man. Yeah.
Discovery,
hey, SVO, what's up, dude? James Webb has detected photons. That you know what, Jim? No lies were detected, despite the detection of photons. Anyway. All right, I gotta stop. All right, so let's check this out. So Slick 50. It's a great air tool lubricant, by the way. Jeez. Full house, huh? But you heard that it detected something square looking. No, I haven't, Alamander. I was talking truthfully. I have no idea what you're talking about. Launchpad allocation strategy. Reserved for future launchpad allocation strategy. So 19. Yeah, see, 20 is Firefly. 16 is Relativity. That's right. 15 is ABL. 14 is Stoke. 13, Phantom Daytona and Via Dauntless. Yeah, we knew about that. 36, 11, and 12 are 12? See, Firefly Alpha, 20C. I don't understand that. Why not use 46? Space Florida multi-user, 20N. Firefly Alpha, 20C. Huh. Why? Well, I guess. All right, here. Let me tell you. Let me show you what's going on here. So, that's cool that there are all these people that are all these companies buy up launch pads. Missile Row is pretty much full, which is not something I ever thought I would ever say ever. So what's Missile Row? So in the 60s, the US wanted to do a lot of ICBM testing. So they built a lot of ICBM pads, and they weren't exactly sure if the thing was going to blow up. So they built multiple ones. There's four Atlas D or Atlas E, well, just Atlas pads. It was Atlas D and Atlas E and Atlas F, and then 4 Titan pads right there. So 1, 2, 3. There was one right there. It got swallowed up by Blue Origin along with Slick 36A and B. There's 12. In that doc, that says that 12 is owned by Blue as well. Blue was an Atlas. 12 was an Atlas pad. 13 was an Atlas Agena pad. 14 was Mercury Atlas, which is interesting because in the doc, it says Stoke. Stoke's going to use 14, which is pretty crazy. And then right there, yeah, that's 15. 15, which was a former Titan 1 pad. Titan 1, Titan 2. That's RS1 right there. And then 16 is Relativity, which they're retooling for Terran R. 19 is Reserved. And then there's 20, and then they want to build that pad. They want to build one more right there, interestingly enough. Maybe a lot of bullcrap with TikTok trend fake crap. I haven't heard anything about it, Alamander. I'll have to look into it. In work. I'm wondering who's getting that one. But that's interesting that Alpha is going to get a pad at the Cape. Right there. Right now they only launch out of Slick 2 in Vandenberg. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. Missile Row is completely full, which is super cool. I really dig it. That's LC-46, which is a Minutemen pad, but also multi-user. That's where they basically take ICBMs that don't make the grade anymore, take the warhead off, put a payload on it, and launch it into space.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
The real thing that I'm kind of like wondering is, well, that's only one half of the Cape. There's so many other launch pads down here. Like there's the old Slick 17. There's 31, 32. They're probably not going to use those anymore. And then the Navy does Navy things down here. So not exactly sure. This is LC5, which is where Alan Shepard launched into space on the first Mercury mission. That is the Air Force Space and Missile Museum now, or Space Force Space and Missile Museum. There's a Titan 1 sitting over there. There's a Delta Force CBC. There's a locomotive. There's the IUS transfer vehicle. There's a bunch of good stuff. So they're probably not using those pads, but I'm wondering who's got 17. Hey, Arsenal, did the B7 temperature problem get resolved? Seems so. B7? I don't know. It had temperature problems. The point is that you have more pads down here. You have plenty more infrastructure. I'm wondering what they're doing with all this. The other half is Space Force. This whole thing is Space Force, dude. It's just a genuine curiosity. Like, there remains limited availability of shared use launch sites on the Eastern Range. 46, 20, 48. Limited launch site availability left on Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Limited land availability to support new facilities. Yeah, I understand that. What about the runway? That's the skid strip. Payloads get delivered on that if they're transported by a plane, Clayton. You're not doing that. Interesting. Look at that, dude. Huh. Huh. Interesting. They're predicting a fall in launches in 2027. How did the Banana River get that name? It's probably because there was a banana tree growing next to it. Here's what I want to see. Yes. Oh, Phil, these are so good, dude. This is yeah, check it out. Airfield operations, munition storage, mission and launch op support areas, developable land areas, administrative campus. Yeah, see, 17 and 16 are still on the menu, which is pretty cool. 9 and 10, 31, 32. No one's using 31 and 32. If you know why, you know why. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could develop those. I'm still wondering who's getting 37, man. Do those peaks correspond to Mars transfer windows? No, that was just commercial launches, Talon, but maybe, I don't know. Might be a move to fewer, larger launches as New Glenn and Starship come online. Yeah, possible. What the heck is number 6? Hang on. Future low-density development for launch support-related facilities. Oh, this is, dude, so freaking cool. Look, Slick 50, dude. Look, Slick 50. Yeah, okay. They want to build a launch complex right there. Slick 50. 31 and 32. 31 and 32 were ICBM test silos, Kyron. They put the remains of Challenger in them. So that complex is never getting used again. Yeah. When all the pieces of Challenger that they recovered, they put them in the ground. They buried it. So yeah, 16, 17 are still, this is 16 and 17 right there. That's LC-17. That's the old Delta II launch pad. That thing's still good to go, which is pretty rad. That's cool. Yeah.
Discovery,
I don't know, Aaron.
throttle up.
Tony, 10-month resub. Thank you. I thought the RL-25 replacement engines had trouble maintaining a long engine burn or something. The RL-25. Oh, Arsenal, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about, dude. B7, RL-25, what are we talking? Those are, the B7's a Blue Origin lunar landing engine. Do you think LC-13 is going to become a shared landing site not only for SpaceX? SpaceX Skeleton, per these base updates, dude, we knew that Slick 13 is actually, SpaceX is letting the lease elapse soon. Interestingly enough. Yeah, Slick 13 is not going to be SpaceX. It's going to be somebody else. Actually, it says up here. 13 is Phantom, Daytona, and Viaspace. So, yeah, Viaspace is taking over that pad, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. I know what the next question is. Where's SpaceX going to land stuff? I have no freaking clue. We did think in the past that SpaceX is going to try to get 37, Slick 37. But it says it's reserved for future LPAS, which means basically that's still up in the air. But yeah, this is some really it's really big deal stuff. It's so legit, dude. This is so cool. This, yeah. What will Cape Canaveral Space Force Station look like? Oh, dude, detailed ops. Oh, balls. Slick 50. Yeah, buddy. North Phillips Parkway Hall route passing lanes 2026. Some repairs and final major overhaul before sundown. What? Wait, what are these lines? Oh, okay. They're gonna widen out the road. Don Pettit with the goods again. We covered that right at the beginning, dude. Unless it was something that he's posted in the last hour and a half. Here be dragons. Yep. Yeah, we covered that. I went over all of Crew 9 stuff. Yeah. We're looking at base expansion plans here down the Cape. Crazy. SpaceX should just get a new landing zone, I would guess. Yeah, but where? Per the Space Force, they're running out of space. Construct wastewater sewer force main. Construct potable water main. Oh, gotta get the dude. It's workers, man. This all this makes me want is a workers DLC, a workers spaceflight DLC. Widen ICBM for hauling, redundant power distribution network. Cool. Extend Lighthouse Road in 2026. Relocate the weather station. Construct South Phillips Hall route improvements. Dude, look at the base expansion. That's nuts, dude. They're going to basically build out a new Space Force station here. Yeah, weather station. Running out of... I can't believe that. Kyron, that was my original question. That's what prompted this. Sean, why is Earth the only human planet? Because we haven't decided we want to go to another one yet, but that's going to change soon. Maybe clue up on something by 39A and B. I think they're just going to build a landing site at their launch sites, Bob, to be honest. I think Falcon 9 is safe enough to do it. Vandenberg proved that. Actually, let's go up here. Anything here about another landing site? Because if SpaceX could build like a landing site right here, that'd be money. Like right there, it'd be perfect. 39C, this is the Space Force Station. That's Kennedy Space Center. Hold on. Another tropical storm form. Oh, that's great, Sean. That's not good. H1 and L1, what does that mean? Construct percolation ponds. Divest from pump station 7. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're building out the infrastructure at the base to support the commercial industry, which is super freaking cool. And look, yeah, they're building out a whole new base. Well, there's your reason. There's the reason why they're running out of space. I said that, you know, why don't they use some of these pads down here, right? That base is where they want to build that is right there. So that's right next to all those pads that I was talking about. I wonder what it says for 31 and 32. Nothing. It says nothing. There's no updates for that. What about Slick 18? D and B. Demolish facilities. Okay. Okay. That's the missile museum right there. So that's nothing. Who has 48 right now? 48? I have no idea. Nobody. There's there's all the other buildings down there. What's L1? What are we talking about here? What is that? Consolidate munition storage. Interesting. Okay, this is the central. Now what do we got here? Wow. Whoa, that's a lot of movement. A. Oh, they're going to connect the causeway. Yeah, this is pretty consistent with what we saw. They're going to demolish this right here, and they're going to path this road like this. Like that. Okay. Construct Silver Parkway hallway, third lane for both north and south lanes. Huh? Cool. Damn, dude. That's a hell of an expansion. I'm wondering what Hangar AF is going to do. That's subsection N. Renovations to AF. Hangar AF wharf improvements. Man, that's nuts, dude. What a crazy expansion. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess they don't have enough pads. Got to make another one. And then there's some Vandenberg stuff above that. I saw it, but now I want to go look at it. Damn you. ABL is taking 576. What the frick? How many more pads do you... You know what? I'm cool with it. Slick 9, Slick 3E is ULA, 4 is SpaceX. Phantom Space has 5. SpaceX has 6. 7? Tropical storm is called Kirk. 7, 8, 9. Where's 10? Dude, that's a lot of pads, man. That's Vandenberg RB. They're 14. How many freaking pads do you want to make? If I recall correctly, Slick 9 is for New Glen's West Coast launch capabilities. Dude, that's... Why no Wallops? Because the Space Force doesn't operate there. How are you going to build these launch sites up in the mountains? That's what I'm genuinely curious about. So they want to build another pad over here. Which, I mean, that's already a thing. But they were talking about building more like up in the mountains. How the heck are you going to do that? ACOE is how? Yeah. Slick 14, right there. Dude, that's way over here. Man, that's wild, dude. Yeah. Crazy. They won't get to build half of those. I was gonna say, how you gonna make these ones? So blue is already existing pads. Slick 11 is partially developed. Interesting. Interesting. See if you can pinpoint 15. 15. Where'd you get that PDF? Here. You should fly around there in Flight Simulator and take a look. What are you doing? No. Dude, that's really high up. That's not a small hill. Mountain. Crazy. Launching from the mountains. Dude, actually launching from the mountains. Any other new constructions around here while I'm looking? Here, let's just make sure we have the time scale set to the newest one. That's Slick 4. That's 4E and 4W. That's Slick 3E and Slick 3W. 3W is not used. There's Lompoc Surf right there. 2 is over here somewhere. That's Firefly's pad. You guys want to hear the messed up part? You see all this stuff out here? All this stuff, ding, 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 ding. Those are all ICBM test pads. There's like entire launch complexes out there. That's where the Air Force and the Space Force test their ICBMs. There's so much out there, dude. You have no idea how big Vandenberg is. RIP Delta 2 MST. Yep. Yeah, see? There's tons of pads, just like at the Cape. That's 2 right there. 579, I think, is over here. Or 576. Yeah, it's directly due south. Damn, dude. Takes an hour to reach any of them. Yeah, they're way out in the middle of nowhere, dude. Vandenberg is big. Bigger than you think. I've been there, and I'm, you know, I've been there. The 576 is a cursed pad, Minotaur C. Slick 1 is the one that's to the left of Slick 2. Yep. Yep. See, there's so many freaking pads out there. Where do they do the SRB stuff? Somewhere. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts, dude. Yeah, the pads go all the way up the coast, man. Look. There's some of them way up here for testing things and stuff. Oh, nice, Knight. That's cool. Dude, this is a crazy expansion. We're talking about building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new pads at Vandenberg. That's absurd, man. Any more detail? Wow. There's just gonna be pads going up into the hills, dude. I'm here for it all. Yeah, no, I'm not upset. This is rad, dude. Crazy. Crazy. Absolutely bananas. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. So speaking of Firefly, our Elytra spacecraft aced environmental testing, bringing us one step closer to launch. The rigorous tests included vibration and thermal vacuum testing to replicate the harsh conditions during launch and subject the vehicle to extreme temperatures, confirming the resilience and reliability. Stay tuned for the next milestone. All right. It's a box. No, that's cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. There's a tweet from Scott that I wanted to talk about, but it's about FAA stuff, but that's kind of a side thing. The launchpad stuff took a little longer than I thought, so we could talk about that another day. Okay, so check this out. This is coming from my buddy Elisar over at NASA Spaceflight. Check this out. This is a time lapse of 897 seconds, or nearly 15 minutes. Raptor engine tests performed by the teams at SpaceX at McGregor. This is the longest duration test performed teams by a that sentence. This was the longest duration test performed by teams by a wide margin. Audio in real time. Okay. Maybe we should turn that down a little bit. Previous record was 387 seconds. This is sped up 40 times. Safe assumption that it's Raptor 3? I don't know, Bob. Couldn't tell you, homie. Definitely saw some throttling, yeah. Yep, throttling back up. Throttling down. Yeah. Yeah, they were just pushing it to the limit, dude. That's ridiculous. Can you believe that? It's the one from the bottom of the Gulf. Don't do that, man. How nuts would that actually be? If that's the case, I'd just be like, yo, all right, that's, I got my RS-25 shirt on, but also, no. But also, no. But, dude, I even said that, with those Booster 11 remnants that they went and got, and Haas Ridgewind is back out there, by the way, with divers on board. They're going to get more. I said that if they gave that turbine machinery from the recovered Raptors, I'll bet you if you give them a new nozzle, clean it up, I'll bet you it'll work. Maybe. Why not? Why wouldn't it? Right? Like, unless there's some pretty gnarly saltwater inundation there, but I don't think so, man. How cool would that actually be? It'll buff out. Dude. 15-minute burn. What the balls? That's nuts, dude. Why does a main stage engine need to burn for 15 minutes? That's a good question, Kyron. My guess is that they're just putting an engine through its paces. If you notice, if you watch the kind of, just watch the flames, they kind of contracts a little bit, and then it goes up, and then it contracts, and it goes up. Like, see, they're throttling it. It's going up and down. You see what I'm talking about? It seems like they maybe ramped down the throttle over time, if I'm looking at that right. You know what I'm thinking, dude? Raptor attached to something would make a pretty damn good SSTO. Could it be a lunar landing burn? 15 minutes? I doubt it, dude. single engine landing burn for 15 minutes? Speaking of, maybe a Martian SSTO burn? I don't think that would be 15 minutes, dudes. TLI, that would be my guess. High energy MTO, it's possible. Even from rectilinear halo, could be that. Yeah, lunar, okay. If this was testing a certain profile, guys, it would be something that's beyond low Earth orbit, which means SpaceX is playing the long game. I think TLI or lunar landing burn maybe might be the right one, but 15 minutes is a long time for an engine. Translunar injection is 3150 capture, 3150 meters a second, 7 to 900 capture. Landing is 2000. Oh, Dave, don't worry about it. That changes, I'll send you a message volunteering. Yeah, all good, man. No worries. I wouldn't be ready to even ask you for that. My shop's still thrashed, but yeah. Cool. Did it look like a healthy shutoff? Everything looked fine to me, Mike. Yeah. It burped up, then the methane that it burped up burnt off right away. That looks right to me. Yeah. It's just sped up, so it looks a little weird, but yeah. That's amazing. Honestly, you know, despite what's going on with like Falcon 9 being grounded again, SpaceX is still making strides. That's ridiculous, dude. That's insane. Let's do the math. 15-minute burn. How much does one Starship weigh? I don't know. Raptor would make a great sustainer. It'd make a great everything, Ben. It's basically cheating, dude. It got grounded again. Yeah. Crew 9 second stage went to deorbit and it didn't do the full duration burn, and it came down in a spot that wasn't the temporary flight restriction. The FAA was like, "Hey, you guys remember us? You know, the people you keep saying, yeah, guess what? Guess what time it is?" The FAA probably. "It's investigation time. It's Morbin time." No. Yeah, that's not good. No, that's not great. SpaceX, though, actually voluntarily grounded themselves before the FAA said anything about it, believe it or not. Yeah, they got some forms for you. Yep. They got a number for you to call. Actually, they actually do have a number for you to call. Oh, geez. The grounding is 100% valid. Got to check out MVAC and its associated processes. Did you get that memo? Yep. But even then, despite all that, dudes, it's still pretty awesome. Anyway. Okay. I moved this to the end here. Or to the very end. We still need to talk about that fiasco. Some people were asking me. Yeah, it's time, chat. If you've seen it before, we get to talk about that. Anyway, this is coming from Space News. This is Jeff Faust. What is China doing? Well, I'll tell you in a second. What? Never seen it. I can't wait. That's Intelsat 708. I have a story for you. It's going to be story time. But let's see what this is. Let's see what's going on here. So, Aqualex, if you're here, type out what you said again, dude. I was interested in it. I just wanted to get all that other stuff out of the way. Trying to outdo Jax's Dorifto launch. This was 23, 24. It was over 2 decades ago. That was 708. Correct. So, Lockheed involvement in NASA has become more and more of a red flag for you. Augustine, yes, that Augustine, is a board member, former CEO, and major shareholder of Lockheed, and his involvement in various reports can be seen as personal. First for financial gain, then retaliatory, then possibly trying to control the narrative to save face. Yeah, Alex, I don't understand. I don't get what that guy's angle is. It's definitely not space flight, whatever it is. I don't get that dude's angle. It kind of sounds like a Jack Ryan type, minus the cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're picking up what I'm laying down? Anyway, so Lunar Outpost, one of 3 companies that won contracts earlier to begin designing work on Artemis lunar rovers, has added Leidos to its team after parting ways with Lockheed Martin. Colorado-based Lunar Outpost announced September 24th that Leidos joined its Lunar Dawn team that is designing a rover for NASA's LTV, Lunar Terrain Services program. Lunar Outpost was one of 3 companies alongside Astrolab and Intuitive Machines selected for contracts by NASA in April for the first phase of the program. We did cover that. Yep. Leidos will provide its expertise in human factors as well as areas like mission assurance and systems engineering. Astronaut safety is our #1 priority when building our vehicle. We are thrilled to have the industry leader in human-centered design on our team. They just weren't able to reach an agreement with Lockheed Martin as we were negotiating terms and conditions of the statement work for this contract. We still think they're a great company. However, it wasn't a good fit for us or them to work together as part of that contract. Leidos is not a direct replacement for Lockheed Martin on the rover project. Interesting. Oh God, is that a Razer headset? It's a Black Shark V2, RB. Yeah.
Discovery.
Hey, it's
go
Vic,
and
46 month resub. Thank you. The FAA has penciled in SpaceX for an appointment. Yep. Interesting. Guys, this sounds like just that, Lunar Dawn and Lockheed Martin couldn't come to an agreement on their contract. I don't think this is anything, but I think it is. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not going to at least poke my head in and be like, yo, what's up? When, contractors for NASA just decide to be like, nope. Yeah. At the start of today's stream, didn't you mention some OIG thing, or did I miss that? Oh, I see. Yeah, there is something. Yeah. Yay. Here. Sorry, I made a thread about it. I was reading some of the thread. You know what? You guys can see that. I posted this a little bit earlier. I have a feeling I know what the results of this will be. This is the OIG, Office of Inspector General. We will examine NASA's Commercial Crew Program, which partners with American private industry to safely transport astronauts to and from the ISS. Uh-oh. And this is the thread I was reading. Somebody asked me, are they going to cancel Starliner? And Scott said, OIG can't do that. However, it's pretty obvious that they're going to tell NASA the best course is to drop Starliner. And I said, I'm not sure if that's the right call. You got to see it through to help make commercial LEO access viable in the future. One crew capsule in a low Earth orbit economy is consolidation, not expansion of the LEO crew market, which is what the Commercial Crew Program was designed to do. And Scott said back to me, I don't agree. That's not Scott Manley. That's Scott likes SLS, different guy. I don't agree with many things that the OIG tells NASA, just like NASA doesn't either, but it's definitely a likely outcome due to Starliner's continuing problems. While Dragon has had just as many, sometimes much worse, it's able to recover very fast and reliably, something Starliner isn't doing. You gotta give it some time, man. Gotta give it some time. I'm just happy they caught this problem during testing. But yeah. Yeah, so that OIG report is going to take a little bit of time, but yeah, they're getting to that. I don't think they're going to cancel Starliner. I don't think the OIG's recommendation would be to get rid of Starliner. I think that it has much more to do with the management of the commercial crew program, particularly from its inception till about 2018, 2019, in regards to Starliner. I think this program... So, okay, guys, here's what happened. When the commercial crew program got awarded in 2014, right? SpaceX and Boeing got awards. Now, NASA did something, and they explained this at the time. They did something they really hadn't done with commercial up until that point, or frankly, ever. They said, we're going to give a contract to Boeing because that's the safe bet. That's the safe bet. Keep in mind, this was in 2014. That comment did, in fact, not age well. We're going to go with Boeing because it's a safe bet. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on SpaceX and really put them under a magnifying glass for the Dragon program. And that's exactly what happened. And the program they were paying attention to and looked at under a magnifying glass worked very, very well. And then they left Boeing to their own devices. Yeah, that's what this OIG report is going to be about, guys. That's what it's going to be about. They left Boeing to their own devices. They launched OFT-1 in 2019, and it was a fiasco. Ever since then, NASA has clamped back down and been up their tail about getting stuff right. And yeah, it's very clear that them choosing to leave Boeing to their own devices and, you know, we don't need to put a magnifying glass under you. You guys know what you're doing. That was an extraordinarily bad idea. That is the reason why Starliner has all these problems. The firm believer. That's why. If NASA had chosen to look at Boeing and SpaceX equally, which I don't understand who thought not applying equal rules for safety, especially in regards to safety to your two contractors in this, was a good idea. Whoever thought that was a good idea is a moron. Let me put it that way. I don't know why you would do that, but I guarantee you that's what OIG is looking at. Basically, NASA softballing Boeing for 5 years and their capsule suffering because of it. Like I said, guys, I heard some really weird stuff in those Starliner press conferences. One thing that really stood out to me was Boeing and NASA were just like, oh, out of the blue. They were like, oh yeah, we have another service module that we use for testing at White Sands. And we actually went to look at that to use it for testing, and it was broken. It was broken because we left fuel in it since the last time we used it. I'm just like, and they're like, yeah, that was actually a super good learning point. And I'm like, what? You did what? With your multi-million-dollar service module, you just left the fuel in it? You know, the fuel is corrosive, right? Well, they like, look, that was probably not that big of a deal, but also, you're not going to defuel it. I mean, they did defuel it, but they didn't purge it. They just left it there after it was, they fired it, emptied the tanks, and then just kind of left it there. You can't do that with hypergolic stuff. You can't do that. You have to purge it out, or else it'll corrode your seals, which is exactly what happened. Where's that being stored? Hopefully that's not stored near people. That would be unfortunate. So very, very interesting there. I guarantee you that that's what that OIG report is going to be about. Just the management of NASA pertaining to Starliner and the selective enforcement of safety over it. Because seriously, that's what happened. And yeah, clown fiesta. Buck, that's ridiculous. You don't not purge out a service module. You know how much trouble you get in at SpaceX if you don't purge out a bottle? Actually, you guys probably wouldn't know that, but oh yeah, you keep everything nice and clean, because if you don't, the hypergolic stuff that's inside of the spacecraft that leaves fumes that they sniff for, you know, when the Dragon comes back down, you know, you don't clean that, it's gonna break things. That's correct, weather guy. Yes. So yeah, like they just had another service module that they just left there. Like that's not good. That's not good stewardship stuff. Like once again, I could be talking out my tailpipe, but I mean it's me, so it's probably is. But anyway, have you covered Rocket Lab stuff on this day of space news? I have, Ben. Yep. I have. Yep. So I guarantee you that's what it's gonna be, but I honestly can't type that all in an X response, so I figure I'd show you the thread and we'd go from there. But yeah, that's what I meant when I said I have a feeling I know what this result is going to be, but me being vague about that made a huge thread about how everyone thinks Starliner is going to get canceled, which is why at the beginning of the stream I said I may have jumped into the lion's den. Oops. Sorry. My bad. I agree with what you said a few weeks ago. Boeing is less experienced since they let go of the old timers a while back. That's exactly what happened, Bob. The management of the Starliner program. It's a programmatic management failure. Where have I heard these words before? Here, give me 1 second. I'm getting the picture up. I'm getting the picture. Now, don't look away. I'm getting the picture up so you can understand. Get the picture up so you can understand. Second. Oh yeah, I've heard this before. I've heard this story. I've seen this. It's one where Ralph dresses up as a man from space. Yeah, I've heard this story before. Yeah, programmatic management failure. Interesting. That's a mystery. No, well, W, you're not wrong. I was specifically saying pertaining to spacecraft, but also that's right. Yeah, that too. Yep. Yeah, see this part right here? See the part where it says that? Yeah, programmatic management failure. Yeah, that's basically inmates running the asylum. Yeah, not good. In spacecraft and space exploration, that's how people die. And, thankfully with the CFT-1 mission, NASA has the luxury of having Dragon, the capsule that they did their due diligence with. Oops. To basically retire any risk with potentially stranding astronauts, because that never happened. They were never stranded. Throw a picture of a 737 up there. The MAX, actually. But that wasn't necessarily NASA. That was the FAA. Yeah. It kind of came to my attention, and this is not new news. This is me learning about the subject. It came to my attention that the FAA just basically, because I've been doing a lot of digging about the FAA because of the thing going on with SpaceX. The FAA basically, Boeing went to be like, yo, we got a new version of the 737. We need you to test it. And the FAA said, nah, we trust you. Just fly it. Just fly it. Show it's the test data. You'll be fine. Yeah. Narrator. It was not fine. Yeah, that's basic. Yeah, that's what happened. That's good. That's good. Well, Bob, you got to remember that the rest of Starliner worked fine. You know why the rest of Starliner worked fine? Because NASA has been using Boeing as a sock puppet since 2019. They're affording the same due diligence that they gave to Dragon, that they thought they didn't have to give to Boeing. Well, it turns out that company going to do company things. If you don't shine a light on it, they're just going to do company things. You know what I'm saying? How somebody didn't see that one coming, I'm not sure. Because honestly, think about it, right? Like, dude, this is not like one of those things you're like, in hindsight, it's 2020, right? This is one of those things like, oh, a corporation is going to do stupid management things in this year, in current year. Like, bro, that's not something that you could have, you could have predicted that. That would have been, yeah. Whoops. Whoops. Like, how did you not see that coming? What are you doing? NASA, stop it. Stop that. Stop it. This is human space flight. This isn't checkers. It's not what you know, Jake. It's what you can prove. Stuff is chess. It ain't checkers. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Elon, probably. Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe. Who knows? Anyway. So, yeah, not great. Not great for the OIG to be investigating commercial crew, but if they were, that's what I think the outcome of that is going to be. I think they're going to look into the management decisions that were made in the early parts of the commercial crew program and how we're dealing with serious repercussions because of that. Okay, now, so, little bit of a subject change. I'm going to end space news here with kind of a little history lesson, space history lesson. So, we were watching Crew 9 dock yesterday to the ISS, and Crew 9 made it up just fine. Nick Hague, Alexander Gorbanov, they made it up to the station. And they joined the rest of the crew. They joined Butch and Sonny from the CFT-1 mission. Crew 8's up there, and Soyuz MS-26. And I had not a lot. I had like 2 or 3 people ask me, like, how many people are in space? How many people are in space? And I'm like, well, 14. Right? And, well, 11 on the space station, 14 total. And they're like, oh, what's the Chinese space station doing? Is that station still up there? They're still up there, right? I'm like, yeah, of course they're still up there. And then the inevitable question happens that I get, why don't we work with China on this? Why don't we work with China on this? Why don't we work with China on this? I got asked that a good amount of times. I got asked about it enough times that I said I would talk about it today. So, why doesn't the US and the rest of the international partners work with China? Well, story time. If you want the quick version, here's the quick version. I will show you. It's 1996. Intelsat 708 is sitting on top of a Long March 3 rocket at the, I think it's Xichang Space Center. This is the first Western payload to be launched on a Chinese rocket. It failed immediately. It failed immediately and blew up. The audio is fantastic too, I know. Sorry, I probably should have headphone used you guys, but you get the idea. So, that happens. That's not great. I don't know if you guys could tell. So the rocket basically took off, immediately pitched left, and crashed into a village. The official report says that about 6 people died. But if we look a little bit further here in this, 6 people. Yeah, it crashed into the the village supporting it. 6 people died from this. Just 6. That's the official report. 6 people. So, not only, obviously, is this an egregious safety violation here. No flight termination system? Bro, look what country you're in. Yeah, 6 people died from this. That's the official report. That's what it says. This footage was taken by American engineers from Space Systems Loral as the Chinese Communist Party, the couple hours after this happened, promptly told everybody to get on the bus and get the frick out of the country and instantly deported all of them back to the United States. They scrambled, maybe got a couple pieces here and there from the crashed rocket, what was left of it. Also got some hypergol poisoning because Long March 3, hypergolic. And that's it. Now, why is this a big deal? Why do we not work with China? Well, apart from the egregious safety violation here, right? Apart from the egregious safety violation, we kind of figured out that maybe telling people how our satellites work potential aggressors, adversarial nations, telling them how our stuff works was probably not the smartest idea. So, how did this happen? So, check this out. I'm reading right from Wikipedia here, guys, but this information is good. I know it's good, so just bear with me. In 1992 and 1993, Space Systems Loral received licenses from the Department of State to launch Intelsat satellites on Chinese rockets. At the time, satellite companies were still under ITAR, the International Traffic in Arms Regulations. It's export controls for the United States. They would be transferred in stages to the Department of Commerce between 1992 and 1996. The Intelsat 708 satellite was to be launched into a geostationary orbit aboard a Long March 3B launch vehicle. On February 15, 1996, the Long March 3B launch vehicle failed during launch, veering off course immediately after liftoff and crashing into a village near the launch site. An enormous explosion destroyed most of the rocket and killed an unknown number of inhabitants. 6. Once again, 6 per the report. The nature and extent of the damage remain a subject of dispute. The Chinese government, through its official Xinhua news agency, reported that 6 people were killed and 57 injured. Western media speculated that between a few dozen and 500 people may have been killed in the crash. Dozens, if not hundreds of people were seen to gather outside the center's main gate near the crash site the night before the launch. When reporters were being taken away from the site, they found that most buildings had sustained serious damage or had been flattened completely. Case in point. Some eyewitnesses were noted as having seen dozens of ambulances and many flatbed trucks loaded with what could have been human remains taken to the local hospital. Bruce Campbell of Astrotech and other American eyewitnesses in Xinjiang reported that the satellite post-crash was surprisingly intact, along with the opinion that the official death toll only reflects those in the military who were caught by the disaster and not the civilian population. In the years to follow, the village that used to board the launch center has vanished, with little trace it ever existed. However, Chen Lan, writing in the Space Review, later said the total population of the village was under 1,000, and that most, if not all of the population, had been evacuated before the launch site, as had been common practice since the 1980s, making it very unlikely there were hundreds of deaths. Okay. Investigation. After the failure of the launch, the Chinese investigation found that the inertial measuring unit had failed. However, the satellite insurance companies insisted on an independent review committee as a condition of providing insurance for future Chinese satellite launches. Loral, Hughes, and other U.S. aerospace companies participated in the review committee, which issued a report in May of 1996 that identified a different cause of the failure in the inertial measuring unit. The Chinese report was then changed to match the findings of the review committee. The Long March rocket family did not experience another mission failure until August of 2011. In 1997, the U.S. Defense Technology Security Administration found that China had obtained significant benefit from the review committee and could improve their launch vehicles, ballistic missiles, and in particular their guidance systems. In 1998, U.S. Congress reclassified satellite technology as a munition that was subject to ITAR, returning export control from the Commerce Department to the State Department. In 2002, Loral paid $20 million in fines and compliance expenses to settle allegations violating export control regulations. No export licenses to China have been issued since 1996, and an official Bureau of Industry and Security emphasized that in 2016 that no U.S. origin content, regardless of significance, regardless of whether it's incorporated into a foreign-made item, can go to China. Intelsat 708 contains sophisticated communications and encryption technology. Members of the Loral security team searched the toxic environment around the crash site to recover sensitive components, returning with complaints of bulging eyes and severe headaches requiring oxygen therapy. They were initially reported by the Department of Defense Monitor to have succeeded in recovering the satellite's encryption-decryption equipment. The most sensitive FAC-3R circuit boards were not recovered, but were mounted near the hydrazine propellant tanks and most likely were destroyed in the explosion. Because the FAC-3R boards on Intelsat 708 were uniquely keyed, the National Security Agency remains convinced that there is no risk to other satellite systems now or in the future resulting from not having recovered the FAC-3R boards from the PRC. That is the reason why we don't work with China. Because we went to launch this satellite once. It didn't work, just miraculously malfunctioned on a rocket that just never does that. And then all of a sudden, all of China's missile systems, all of their launch vehicles, all of their satellites just started to just be really, really good. All of a sudden. Because some bonehead at the Department of Defense thought that would be a good idea. Oops. That's the reason why the U.S. doesn't work with China. Intelsat 708. It didn't go well. China said, oh, it's the inertial measuring unit. And then they said, we found it's not the inertial measuring unit. And they said, oh, no, wait, never mind. And then they promptly said, the day after, they promptly sent everybody on a bus. Everybody on a bus, get out of here, go home. Nope, you can't look at the rocket. Nope, you can't look at the village. They scrambled to get some of that stuff, and then they instantly deported everybody. That's a little bit suspect, don't you think? Little suspect, huh? You know about the Wolf Amendment. The Wolf Amendment is there because of Intelsat 708 cryo. That's what happened, guys. People are either don't know because we have a lot of new spaceflight fans around. We've got spaceflight has exploded, not like Intelsat 708, over the past 10 years. And people are always like, we need international cooperation. We need international cooperation. We need international cooperation. You don't want to conduct spaceflight with somebody that does stuff like that. Trust me on this one. You don't want to do that. Bad idea. That is the reason why we don't work with them. That's why the Wolf Amendment is in place, because of Intelsat 708. It's because of that. 6 people. 6 people. Okay. Does that make sense? There's a reason why we don't work with them. Because the rocket that just happens to never malfunction just malfunctions the one time it has our stuff on it. And then you instantly just, nope, you can't investigate it. Nope, everybody go home. So people wanted to know. There's your answer. That's been your story time with EJ about space history. That's why we don't work with them. There's a very good reason why. It's a business deal that went sour. And then all of a sudden, all their space stuff just made leaps and bounds. Somebody had an epiphany, right? And it's not that they lifted all that tech, right? No. Do you think 708 was really on the rocket? Could have been a copy. Who knows? How much does Russia pay Kazakhstan for the Baikonur Cosmodrome? I have no idea. That's right, James. I wouldn't... Dude, okay. Here's my thing. China's making great advancements in space. I mean, mostly because of that. They are. That's no secret. They rolled out with their new EVA suit, which... looks good. Looks good. Let me put it like that. But the whole stage is going up and coming down, man. That ain't spaceflight. Rockets that go up, come back down, and crash into the ground that's not a rocket. That's called a missile. Okay? That's a missile. That's what that is. Rockets that go up, come back down, and hurt people, that's a missile. So, yeah, there's a reason why we don't work with them. That's the reason. And it's not just us. It's the Europeans, it's the Japanese, even the Russians. You don't see any joint cooperation between them. There's a pretty good reason. King, I don't know if you want to put this on stream, maybe Roulette, but you might want to watch this. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, that's a dick move, King. This is why I worry about the Raptor tech at the bottom of the ocean. Don't put it past them. Yep. There are some things you just need to do in-house. Yep. I was going to ask what's the difference between a rocket and a missile. Thank you very much. Yeah, no problem. Wasn't there plans for China and Russia to make a joint moon base? They signed an MOU, Skeleton, which basically said, oh, you want to make a moon base with us? Oh, yeah, bro. Maybe in the future. All right, cool. And then promptly do nothing. An MOU. The Russians actually asked to be part of the Chinese space station project, and the Chinese said no. Fun fact. So what was the actual case if it wasn't the IMU? I don't know. It's just really weird that the whole thing just decided to blow up. If it was a controlled crash, they sacrificed the village to make it look more like an accident. The more you read into it, O10, the worse it gets. Like I said, you know, everybody's like, oh, the U.S. doesn't want to work with China. The U.S. doesn't want to do. There's a very good reason why we don't. There's a very good reason. Just remember that. It's people who say, why don't we work with China? That's so stupid. Don't know their history very well. Keep that in mind. Thanks for the interesting space news, EJ. Enjoy your game with the missus. Yeah, Pat, I think that's everything. I think we got it all. Yeah, pretty sure I did. All right. We got through everything. Excellent. All right. That's right, John. That's the truth. Yep. Pretty much, Gaw. Yep. Really feeling the impartiality and no politics right now. I'm just telling you the reason, Chrome. That's all. You don't have to like it. That's the reason. Am I right? Yeah, I know, Ordon. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, Oculus. Yeah. Yeah, Blackbird A, it is what it is. You wouldn't talk like this about SpaceX rockets blowing up, let's be real. There's a tone happening is all. That's absolutely 130% false. When a SpaceX upper stage re-entered over Washington State, I afforded them the exact same criticism because that's exactly what happened. When SpaceX trunks started coming down in population areas, I said the same exact thing. You don't do stuff like that. That's putting people's safety at risk. Stuff that goes up and comes back down and hurts people is missiles. And SpaceX has been guilty of this a couple of times. The thing is that they've changed it. They changed. They said, oh, that's probably not a good idea. We probably shouldn't do that. But yeah, that's why we don't, guys. I'm not trying to make you hate Chinese people. That's the reason why the U.S. doesn't work with them. Okay? That's all we're talking about here. We're not talking about anything else, and anybody else that's reading anything into that is reading way too much into this. Everybody gets afforded the same criticism. It's true. But having stages come down in populated areas and crash into villages and killing people is not space flight. That's warfare. It's different. I don't give a frick if SpaceX does it. I don't care who does it. But yeah, you guys wanted to know? There's your story time. It didn't have to go down that way. Yeah, it didn't have to be like that, Bob, but that's the way it is. That's the way the history happened. That's correct, Tappet. Yes. Thanks for explaining that. Never knew. Like I said, you don't have to like the context of the history, but it's important to understand it. I don't like World War II, guys. I don't like it, but I like learning about it because it's a very interesting dichotomy of events that happened leading to that. But just because I like reading about World War II doesn't mean I think war is a good thing. See what I'm talking about? So, once again, I don't mean to get really real, but people asked. So, I'll tell you, you make with that what you will. Anyway, Laglander, thank you very much for the raid. Do appreciate it. I think I got everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good. Here, let's take a look and see what rockets we do have. Now, Falcon 9 is grounded. Ironically, a little bit of an addendum. We don't have much on the outgoing missions right now because Falcon 9 is voluntarily grounded from SpaceX because the upper stage came down not where they planned it because of an off-nominal deorbit burn after the Crew 9 insertion. Good. SpaceX is learning. Yeah, Aqualux, of course. No one's above criticism, man. I'll criticize everybody. Like, Boeing screwed up because of their management problems, right? SpaceX can't drop trunk stages on people, but SpaceX changed it. They're only recovering Dragons on the West Coast from now on for that exact reason. You know, if something goes down, you have to know because, look, the reason why I afford everybody the same criticism, guys, and why I speak harshly about the Chinese space program is because they keep freaking doing it. Nobody cared that the Long March 5 that launched the first module from their space station, you know, re-entered and parts of it came raining down on a village in Africa, right? No one cares about that because it's in Africa. What, that happened? Weird, right? That's strange. Just pictures started popping up on the internet of villagers out there with just pieces of rocket in wheelbarrows and stuff. That's weird. But the reason why I hold everybody under the same criticism in regards to this stuff, in regards to safety, right, is because all it's going to take is one bad one. You know, these Long March stages are coming down in Chinese villages. All it's going to take is one to come down in the wrong spot for everybody to start, and that'll get the whole anti-space people all pissed off. It will. All it's going to, you know, it sounds so screwed up to say this, but all it's going to do is come down in a spot that's important to somebody. And that's so screwed up saying that about Africa, but no one cared. I brought it up. No one gave a frick, right? All it's going to take is coming down in a place that's important, and then now we have to deal with all the anti-space people. Why are we polluting space? Why are we doing this? That's just giving fodder to critics. It's very important that everybody operates with a certain decorum that launches stuff into space, and this is the exact reason. Yeah, that Long March 5 that ended up crashing in Africa missed crashing into Manhattan by probably maybe 2 to 3 meters a second. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All it's going to take is the wrong one. Doesn't matter who launches it, commercial, private, government entity, doesn't care. It doesn't matter. All it's going to take is one to screw us up completely, just like Challenger did. Challenger screwed up the entire space industry across almost the entire freaking globe. All it's going to take is one. You can't have stuff like this happening. But it's important to understand the context there. But it just burns up. No, it doesn't. I guess, in fact, those damn pesky facts, right? High stakes. That's right, Think. Yeah, but rip Pete Rose. Oh, geez. Hence Starlighter siding on caution. Bingo. It was the right call. And I've been a pretty big vocal advocate for Starliner. That was the right move. That's what I would have done the same thing. Not that my opinion matters. I'm just a Twitch streamer. What do I know, dude? Really, see how good you Space News is. Never really knew any of this. Well, Pat, I'm just trying to keep the ship on the right course, you know? That's correct, Sambas. That's what I mean. It will take 50 years to recover if it happens. We're just now seeing the nuclear industry recover from 3 Mile Island. Bingo. You don't want something like that happening. Chernobyl screwed the entire nuclear industry worldwide. Just saying. That's a good point, John. But anyway. All right. You gotta be, dude, you gotta be careful of this stuff. Gotta be careful about that. And it also collapsed the nation. Yep. Where was the target zone for the second stage? South Pacific. Good ways away from New Zealand. Not on the Australia side. Anyway, Jack took some pictures of the destacking. Starship was destacked today too. Yes. Look at all the thermal protection that they have up in there nowadays. Yeah, hard no. Panda, I'm with you on that one, pal. Crazy. There you go, Wiz. See what I'm talking about? All it's going to take is one. You know, when you're in a high-stakes industry, space flight, nuclear, all it's going to take is one. I think it's a very important thing to understand. But yeah, that's the reason why we don't work with them, because all it's going to take is one. Alamander. On the topic, change back to Starship. I thought on that 15-minute burn, look at the Artemis... Or look at the Apollo 11 flight plan. 29, section 17 lists lunar module powered descent phase is nearly 12 minutes long, and a gradual descent in overall throttle fits with the G-load control. Dude, it may have been a landing burn. Yeah, I'd believe that based off of what I see here. Cool. Do you think SpaceX has abandoned the idea of extra cargo between the vacuum nozzles on Starship? Yeah, I think if they're going to put anything down there, Talon, it's going to be more engines. Pete Rose, MLB's all-time hits leader, died at 83. That sucks. Charlie Hustle. Yep. Test, I can see you. Pat is continuing the sub they got from Crybaby. Thanks, Pat. To be honest, my first thought would be legs. Yeah, maybe. Starship is getting 3 more RVEX at some point. Yeah, exactly, Fabricator. If they're going to put anything down there, it's going to be 3 more vacuum motors. Damn, Jack, these pics are freaking great, dude. Boca Chica just loves that high dynamic range, man. Look at this. Got some HDR cranked on this sucker. I just look at how much thermal protection is on the inside. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like tiles or anything, but look, this has all been painted with some type of thermal protection system, which is crazy. I mean, it's really starting to look like a spaceship, which is super cool. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. But once again, same thing. Got to be careful with this. Now, think about that. Now, in light of what we said about Intelsat 708 and everything, think about the context of the FAA Starship situation that's going down right now. Should probably be careful. Right? Oh, this is space. I'm in space. Anyway, all right, guys, it's getting up to 8 o'clock. I was going to play Workers for after hours tonight, and I do want to, but I want to also hang around with Brimo. Brimo wants to watch the Lions game. So I'm going to go... I'm going to go do that. We will be jumping back to Workers on Thursday, but for the next 2 days, it's pretty much satisfactory. Guys, tomorrow, if there's not a lot of space news, we're gonna satisfactory right through, I think. It just depends on if the news cycle happens a lot. I don't want to get into a space news where I'm sitting here talking about stuff, but who are they playing? We got the Seahawks at 8:15, so in 15 minutes. You want to have a life? Just a little bit, I did all that Crew 9 stuff over the weekend. I really didn't get a lot of time to spend with Brimo, and the time that I did get to spend with Brimo was at an auto show. If you're married, you know what I mean. If you're married, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I gotta go, you know? I gotta go. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This concludes our broadcast day. I will see you guys all tomorrow at noontime for some satisfactory action. Have a good night, guys. And thank you.